Man, I hope this podcast does good today, man. It's gonna be very good.
Oh man, look at Scooby. It's always sleeping, man.
Man, he's always sleeping. Like, wake
But
up, you happy little camper.
Man, what's going on with you, baby? Oh, really? Huh.
Well, have you ever tried cherry blossom pillows?
Have you ever lost your remote on the couch?
Do you ever just need a spot to put your book in?
Do you ever just need a place to rest your head?
So if you need a pillow with a special pocket, Cherry Blossom Design has the right thing for you. Head on down to their Etsy store and use code BRIDGETHEGAP to get $5 off an order. 2 or more.
Hey, you guys, you ever heard of Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast.
No, I haven't. Is it free?
Yes, it is!
Are there creation tools that allow you to edit it on your phone or computer?
Yeah, there are.
But is there a way that we can spread this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts?
Yeah, it does it for you. It allows you to make money with minimum listenership.
So if you haven't already, go to the Anchor app or anchor.fm to get started.
What they said.
Like that, they were not allowed to. But hey, before we consume this with too much baseball, where are we going to go next? Let's go Jamal Wilkes, you know what I'm saying, with his weird shoots. That's up. All right, everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Bridging the Gap with Bill, Shy, Scooby, and Mac. And tonight's episode is going to be about sports and, you know, just touching on all that. But, of course, we're going to go through our traditional rounds.
Make sure I get tuned in and tapped into all the social medias. I'm at ScoobyK252, at Bill Perry, at OShowShy11, at ChefMac1523, at BridgeTheGap77. I got them all right this time.
Give it to school.
All right, but yeah, make sure y'all get tuned in and tapped in. Pass it to H for the win.
You know, as we do every week, how is everybody doing this week? We're back to a normal shoot schedule, you know, every week. So,
Shy?
Yeah, Shy. Hey, we'll start with you on the wellness. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing fine. Let's see here. Dad's birthday was last week, right?
I believe that's right, the 20th.
Yeah, so it's been a really nice weekend celebrating with him and being with family, and so I'm doing fine, and I'm very thankful and very grateful. So yeah, I'm glad to have another day, beautiful day. See another beautiful day.
No doubt, sis. Which way y'all want to go? My way? I'm doing fantastic myself, you know, and been heavily involved in film, you know, trying to get my film makers acumen back up and everything, and just having a great time, you know, filming right now. And I'm in good spirits and stuff and everything, and I'm glad to, like Shai said, to see another day and be involved with this podcast and to see my people. All right.
I've been feeling real good making music. You know, I had a real clever bar that I wrote today about chicken and waffles, and no one thought it was cool but me.
Give it to us, school. Let us know what time it is.
This is what the bar went like. It was like, the unknown is what's known to John Doe is unknown. A lost soul in the paso at the crossroads. You watch Roscoe's chicken and them waffles. Piano, play pull strings like soprano. Barbos. You know what I'm saying? Like,
pull strings like sopranos. So he pulled the double entendre there. You know what I'm saying? It's like pulling strings, which is a musical thing. Their last name is a musical term, but they're also a mob. They pull strings.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, when you hit it, it's the string.
Yeah, the hammer hits the string, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? He got clever with his bars, and I think they were trying to handle my man. You know what I'm saying? It was clever, though.
Hey, I like it. But, you know,
Yeah, that was clever.
Thank you. Spirits are high, you know, working on music. Yeah, that's about it. Big things on the way.
All right, now our man Mac.
I'm doing good this week. Enjoying my new job. I'm actually I just started 2 weeks ago, and they're giving me my own meal that I get to cook. You know, so.
Oh, look at Mac! Look at Mac!
I'm proud of that. And I've created a new character that me and Bill know about, and so does Alan, which will be first seen ever in Bill's new thing,
Oh,
which he's
yeah.
officially announced as They Found Me for Vengeance.
That's correct.
So,
That is correct. Yeah, man. He's gonna play one of the agents that's gonna be Scooby's partner. But he's gonna continue that. He's gonna continue that character though, man. He's really cool. Wears all black.
There's a little something else.
Yeah, there's some other elements to him and stuff. But you know,
The man in black.
Yeah, he wears all. It seems like all of us pretty much wear all black in this film, pretty much.
That's
it's like
true.
that's the go-to color. But no, he's got a great character. He's got a great character.
Oh, great. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, before we jump into this, sadly, we have to kind of tone the mood down a little bit and talk about Chadwick Boseman. Personally, one of my favorite actors. He's up there in my top 5.
That's right. Yeah, man. Everybody's aware now. Mr. Chadwick Boseman and stuff passed from complications to colon cancer here and everything. And he left an incredible body of work that, will be forever, and, everybody knows about T'Challa, but he also played Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson. This guy, he was a pivotal dude.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 42.
42.
No doubt. Exactly, so he's got a body of work that, will forever stand. And, there's been some talks now, to not get too heavy into it, but, about if they want to keep that role going. But according to the storyline, Shuri, his sister's supposed to continue it anyway.
Yeah.
So that was inevitable. But other than that, to get back on him, he was an incredible human being as well, and everything. He was a good person. Everybody's speaking to his character outside of just what he did with film. Apparently, he did like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 films while he was sick and getting chemotherapy in the midst.
Take this into consideration. He was diagnosed in 2016. Black Panther was filmed in 2017, and he did most of the stunts. So while this man's getting chemotherapy, he's out there doing stunts for Black Panther and Infinity War and Endgame. That's just
incredible, man.
I think that it's just a testament to work ethic and doing something, because we're not promised tomorrow. Like Sha mentioned, should be grateful for today. We should all be grateful for today. Things like this happen. We can't spend too much time being sad about it. We gotta move forward with the light that I feel like
that he left behind.
Yeah.
Indeed, no doubt. And have respect for their family and stuff in this time of mourning. And may he forever rest in peace, rest in paradise, all of that. Shad, you got anything you'd like to say about that and everything before we go to other things?
Yeah, it's completely devastating, and I couldn't believe it when you told me. What one of the things that I think about is how selfless he was. He was fighting for his life, and he only had 4 years. And what does he do? He turns around and gives us one of the greatest, movies, greatest art of all time. He goes down in history. I just feel like I'm so glad that he was able to see all of that and see his accomplishments and see everything and how the people responded, because everyone loved him so much. And he was just so selfless, just to think that he could have been in pain. I don't know how.
He obviously was in pain during those times, getting chemotherapy and stuff,
Right. And filming that movie, filming all of those movies. So it's hard to work.
I saw something online. I'm not sure how true it is or not, because it's online, but I haven't seen anybody refute it. But apparently, when he was in school or whatever, he couldn't afford it, and so on the underground and everything, unbeknownst to everybody else, Denzel Washington apparently paid for his education, like quietly.
Oh, guess what?
Like
Felicia Rashad was his teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, because he did come.
So it was this man's destiny to do something, man. Those kind of people, what their weight is in our community and just in general, in the public sphere, and he has those people as guidance, man.
Right. And he didn't start off as an I guess wanting to be an actor. I guess he did something in a play in high school, and that's what really, turned him this way. Next thing you know, he's going to this famous school, and I don't remember. It was where Felicia Rashad was teaching, and she
Oh,
became
okay.
his mentor. Yeah,
Yeah, you just said me to something I didn't know, Shy. I didn't know that part.
yeah.
She was the Bill Cosby's wife on the Cosby Show. Yeah.
She
All
she
right.
was
Perfect
yeah.
segue into our first topic today is Jackie Robinson in baseball.
Boom. Very nice. You heard what he said there, right? Yeah, after Jackie
Yeah,
Robinson.
42.
Yeah, no doubt. That is a perfect segue, getting into our sports thing and, him really channeling the essence of Jackie Robinson and the times and what was going on. I remember when I saw that film, one of the most pivotal scenes is when everybody's, when he first get in the league and everybody's calling him all those, N-words and stuff like this. And then he goes into that corridor right before you go to, I guess in the back or whatever. And he just lets out that scream. He just like this yells out with all that frustration that there ain't a black person or any individual that's human for that matter that didn't feel that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to just be bombarded with all this racial hate, you're out there to play a sport and do like everybody else. And when he did that, I'm like, man, I bet you Jackie Robinson himself is like, man, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like it really hit home. That's the one scene that comes to mind every time I think about that movie. It's not all the action scenes and when he's playing a sport. It was when he went in that corridor and he yelled out that scream when everybody was messing with him and the way he did it. The way Chadwick did it, man, it was just like, damn.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie is, which I thought you were about to mention, was but it's in that same scenario, but there's a dad and a son, and the dad yelling, but one of the son's favorite players was the shortstop. The shortstop goes over and puts his arm around Jackie, and then that you see the confusion in the kid's eyes. You know what I'm saying? And
Because he's like, but my dad, he's calling them names. And,
yeah. And in baseball, to me, it's always like how I looked at it was like it was always about a team, and I think that's like the important part about like Jackie Robinson's story was like how the people that were around him, some people was on some fuck shit, but for in his team, they started to bond, and you see that throughout the movie.
I mean, that's right. Just like that happening, with things that would end up like unifying us as a society, like, music and stuff like this, where, there's this integration of people and it's about the overall thing in front of them. And in this case with sports and like, they didn't integrate blacks and whites in baseball and stuff until later on, as we know. But like, if I'm not mistaken, it could have even been that Ken Burns special that's all, that really is a very well developed story about the root of baseball on black and white side of things, because he talks about the Negro Leagues too. And the white guys were not opposed to it per se, the players. But the league, you know what I'm saying? Because those guys wouldn't have mind against, like, say, playing against Satchel Paige and the like and everything like that. They were not allowed to, and it's just a shame that the sport itself had kind of suffered in the beginning because of that lack of integration and the questions that will always arise, like, what if Satchel Paige would have played during the same time as, say, a Babe Ruth and this, that, and like, what would have happened? Because, Jackie Robinson came out of the Negro League into that, but it's argued that there's a lot of players that were better than him, you know what I'm saying, in the Negro League that they never got their day, like a Satchel Paige, for example. But again, I mean, yeah, sports, I think, is a way that, it's one of those kind of components where you can look at the thing in front of you and not get caught up in the racial identities.
Yeah, everyone, like, if you're a favorite team from a city, if you're from the city, you probably like
That's
that
what
team.
I'm talking about. If you're from Chicago, New York, so on and so forth, you rep those cities and their teams.
But it's a sport. Like it's all about the team. Who cares what you look like? It's about making sure the team works. Like that's the way everything should be. Making sure the team works. Because all of us are a team.
That's right.
No matter
That's
what.
right.
And think about, like, one of my favorite things about baseball is like how when you're in it, it's might not be boring to watch, and everyone wants to call like baseball boring, but when you're playing it, you're so focused and like in tune, and like, if you're in right field, you can't be daydreaming because the ball gets hit to you, like the I'm sure how it is in other sports, but the relying on somebody else to make a play, grab a ball, throw it to shortstop.
Although I would say right field is a bad example.
Yeah,
The right field is where they're put the
Oh,
players
hey,
on the edge.
did something pop up? What's going on there?
but you know, I think that like that's what drove me to baseball was that team aspect of it and the mental aspect of it because you see if you strike out, you tend to do poorly throughout the rest of the game.
I like the whole grand scheme of what baseball represents in terms of like, it's that one sport where everybody has to play collectively to make sure that the team operates and gets the job done on the outfield to get back infield to represent individual achievement.
I was just about to
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
baseball
on the field, there's never a moment on the field where anyone is showboating. Like the first baseman is not going to do anything like above and beyond the second or third baseman, the shortstop, and so on and so forth, to like shine more on the outfield. So his accomplishments is looked at more. But now when he's infield and it's time for him to go to the bat, it's expected of him to not only shine for himself, but to still play strategically. Because it ain't always about hitting a home run. It's about sometimes just getting on base. I think I had a conversation with y'all that y'all can maybe elaborate more on about like when it's right to bunt and when it's right to like let yourself walk and all these strategic things that it ain't all about just swatting this ball and making sure you knock it clean the hell out of the field. It's like, no, it's like, okay, for example, if you got a man on first and second, it's not bases loaded. All right. And you're not really the kind of hitter that knocks him out the park, but you may want to. Wouldn't that strategically play against your team if you're not known for being the person that knocks them out the park, but you go for it and either say maybe either strike out or hit a fly ball that gets caught? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not playing strategically.
Situation.
You or maybe want to bunt perhaps.
I think that it really.
Shall we talk a little strategic here? If you just excuse me for a second, I like talking to you guys.
Go ahead.
I feel like it really depends on, all right, who's playing third base, who's pitching, who's catching.
Again, another layer to the strategy
And
because
who's
it
going to
depends on the
hit
team.
next? Because if you bunt and get bases loaded, hopefully the guy next is known to hit.
Now, let me ask y'all this. Okay, in that instance, for those of us like myself that knows baseball kind of from a surface place, but these guys, they kind of know it a little bit deeper. In terms of calling something, right? In those instances, y'all got like, either different bases or there's different guys on the side that's also giving you.
There's a man on first and a man on third.
Yeah, that's giving you signatures on what to do that's beyond the main head coach or whatever have you.
Usually, like
It is the coaches.
like when you
They're all, but they're not. I
the
mean,
head coach is usually on third base.
the head coach is on third base.
He's
He's telling
Okay.
you whether you want to run. Or
So who's the
snap.
guy, the person that's at first base giving you signals or whatever?
He
Or
don't give you signals. Whether he might, but most of the time it's probably gonna come from the third base coach.
like stealing is the prerogative of the player, not some signal,
that's
right?
not-
That's the coach.
But it's
The
like
coach will tell you when to steal.
it depends on like, all right, so if you're Manny Ramirez, I don't think you play.
But Jackie Robinson, I don't know if he took all his cues from coaches, didn't he?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're a player like that and you know you can steal, don't get caught out.
Yeah, those guys are like rare birds. Like not everybody can steal bases like those kind of cats. You know what I mean?
Like it's the same with calling pitches. My coach let me call my pitches when I was in the league.
But it's not.
my changeup type shit.
But it's not a standard in the major leagues.
I mean, it depends. Like, who's your catcher? Does the coach like to call the pitches? Does he know the pitcher well? Does the catcher have a relationship with the pitcher, so we want him back there calling the pitches?
So would it be argued that the pitcher, if he has a good game, could you argue that he has to share that with the catcher? If he's giving him good signals that's helping him have a, what do they call it, no-hitter game or whatever, that's like a great game, because they...
Catchers ain't never going to get no credit.
They're helping call the pitches, but only the pitcher walks away like, oh, he had a no-hitter today. But what about the catcher that gave him some of them cues?
But see, as like a catcher, it's like, those are the things you're not worried about. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, a catcher never, I've never seen no cap. What's that guy, Campanella, or you know what I'm talking about? Maybe it's before y'all's time. It's Spanish cat, I believe. But I believe he was like a phenomenal catcher that just went over. He was just one of those catchers that just did a lot, you know what I'm saying? But he helped the pitcher's games by a lot of the stuff that he called. And I think there was a conference where he kind of talked about that a little bit. He's like, such and such had a no-hitter, but, I called that
Like,
screwball. I caught that fastball and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
here's
Like,
the thing about the catcher, which I can't really vouch for too much, but I mean, logically, the catcher is the closest to the batter. The catcher knows how the batter swings the most, other than the batter and the other players. on the team.
right.
So the catcher knows what to call that this guy may not hit.
You can look at him like, you know. And
So you got a Derek Jeter coming up to the plate. You know what type of swinger he is, so you call.
So you call something that's going to be
Accordingly.
harder for him.
Yeah. Like, oh, this guy, he can't hit, a curveball. I'm just throwing, I don't know what he can't hit, but I'm just saying something. So you make sure that,
You make sure that
throw that in there. Yeah.
But I look at it like roulette. So the first one's gonna be the first one. You know what I'm saying? Catch one off guard. Like that's the kind of the key is to catch the batter off guard. You know what I mean? So I think that it's both people. You know what I'm saying? Because the pitcher gotta throw that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And he can call you off.
No
Like
doubt.
But like that's the one good thing that I love about baseball is that as much of it is as it is a team sport, it's also a very individual sport. Because granted, the individual doesn't play without the team, but it's also like, I gotta know how to do this. I gotta know when to do this, when to do that, how to do this.
Yeah. They got to keep up with the signals. Shy, you got anything to say about baseball on any kind of level? I know you don't really know the sport.
Oh, baseball. Well, the only thing I know is what you told me. Well, I like the idea when we were talking about Jackie Robinson and the things that he brought from the Negro Leagues, the way you said they would catch the baseball backwards. And,
I forget that player's name that did that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and stealing bases. And I was thinking about Babe Ruth. I don't really know baseball players, but I know that he's a legend. And
Babe, when he was younger, from what I understand, it was more of a complete player because, like, from what I understand it now, they can correct me if I'm wrong in this particular history, but isn't there a Yankee game that was lost because, Babe did something stupid in the game?
Probably a lot of those.
Yeah, I was about to
Well,
say,
I
there's
don't know how
probably a
many,
lot.
but, and it was pretty much because he just, he was a lazy player by the end, all filled with hot dogs and shit.
Babe Ruth's career, like he would run to first base, touch first base, and someone would run the rest of the base to him.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, one thing I found interesting, like y'all ever heard the term pastime?
Like as in what they call baseball and stuff, or?
So is it pastime?
Yeah, pastime.
See, I thought it was like pastime, like
No.
maybe passing time.
No. I think it's, well, maybe it is actually that.
That's what I'm saying. It blew my mind when I found that.
I
shit
thought
out.
it was as in pastime.
That's what I thought too. But then it makes more sense because it's like, what is a pastime?
They say baseball is America's national pastime. I just assumed in terms of the past, but the passing of time, I didn't consider that.
It's like a clutch is like
No, it's pastime.
It is pastime. Okay.
grouping of things by the door. If you have a bunch of umbrellas, when you leave the door, it's called a clutch of umbrellas, but that shit comes in clutch.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
And speaking of clutch, maybe we can go into football.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
What?
There's one thing that we got. No, it is pastime. This is confusing. I'm getting all different kind of things. It's America's favorite pastime.
Yeah.
Past. P-A-S-T.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I perfectly figured.
Before we end the baseball thing, I do want to say that I believe all three of us are Yankees fans.
Yes, indeed.
Derek Jeter. Me and Bill had talked about
Oh, yeah. I put this thing up on my Facebook a while back. I don't know, about a week or so ago, about who is the greatest Yankee of all time. So that's going to stir a whole hornet's nest.
this. Arguably, in my opinion, player of all time.
And see, the thing is, what was interesting on my thread was the way people weighed that particular reverence, because it's like, like what we said was like, well, as far as consummate player, we were saying Derek Jeter. That was our argument as far as us three. And I kind of posed it out there like that. Like, well, within us, my crew, we were saying Derek Jeter, he's the consummate player, this and that and the other, outfield and in. But then, like, people were chiming online about, like, but, people like Babe Ruth are baseball. And he's a Yankee, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, other people that they, Ty Cobb and all these, like, heavyweight names, Mickey Mantle. And it's just like,
Okay, yeah, but see, what I was kind of posing was like, if they were alive during the same time as Jeter, and they were all in the Yankees at the same time, I personally don't think that Mantle would have better numbers than Jeter. You know, I think it becomes a romanticism of the people from the past, and it's just like, how dare you? It's just like, I'm not putting Jeter above him in terms of significance in history. He obviously came before, but I'm saying like they were alive at the same time. They're on the team at the same time. Mantle's not putting the same numbers up as Derek Jeter, man.
Jeter's
Come
a
on.
better player.
You know, I mean,
Jeter batted second. So that's if you know about baseball. That's like second batter is like the most important batter. You're the best batter on the team, the most clutch. All right, so boom, for the Yankees for many years, shortstop, minimal errors, like, and then just just like all around, like what baseball means. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the encapsulation of that too.
he
Like
really played the game.
Like,
Those footages y'all showed me where this man's going above and beyond to catch a ball
and then he get up and he
He
always
bleeding
chewing gum.
yeah, bleeding. This man, hit his head against the wall. And
Back in the stand there. There's another ground ball, guys.
that man played ball.
See, but like in my opinion, Jeter, like I'm sure like Babe Ruth by the end of his career, he knew that they were going to talk about him for the rest of the time.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
I
don't think Jeter until he finally retired did not care about that. Jeter cared about making sure the Yankees won.
I still don't think he cares. I
I don't think he does.
when it comes to sports, like the people that are great, they would fucking play if there was no money involved.
Oh
They
yeah.
just had to pick, and like
Yeah.
that's
No
what makes
doubt.
Jordan great. That's what makes Derek Jeter great, and
Michael Woods,
Michael Woods, like,
and so on and so forth.
man, fucking.
But hey, before we consume this with too much baseball, where are we going to go next?
Let's go to football.
All right.
I was gonna say earlier about the clutch in football, like the Juju Smith plays, and just like the energy of like football today is very like it's cool. I like the vibe. I watched this blogger called Destroying the Kicker.
Okay.
Really like running with Juju Smith, doing passing routes and shit like that, and I don't know. I like the swagger.
Now, football to me, I think it was my old man that kind of broke this down to me. How he was like likening baseball to like teamwork. For me, football is like life in terms of like
100%.
the hulking obstacles. In the case of football, we know they're big individuals, but like them representing some sort of defensive line, and they have a strategy to inhibit you from achieving your goal, reaching your real and proverbial goal in this case. And that's the way life is. It's like you're planning to do things, but then these inexplicable things that happen, and they weigh 280 pounds solid muscle, 2% body fat, and they're your weight. You know what I'm saying? And they have a strategy to keep you, and there's your goal, clear as day. It's right. You can see it. That's the thing about football. You literally can see your goal. It's like it's agonizing. Like, I see it. It's right there. You gain a few yards. You create a strategy to gain a few more yards. And then sometimes you go for what they call the Hail Mary. It's just like, well, man, we done lost our scrimmage line. You know what I'm saying? Now we're like 4th and 15. You know what I'm saying? This is like Hail Mary. And then, if you got someone like a Jerry Rice from my old school days out there that we call sticky fingers, that's definitely going to always catch it. Shit.
That's the Randy Moss.
Oh, Randy Moss for y'all's time. Yeah, Randy Moss, same difference. Them sticky finger type cats that you put it all in the line. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, just like we do in life.
What's interesting kind of like with football, just to compare to baseball, how you have two different teams. You got the home run hitters, or you got like, I'm chucking it down the field, or you got the guys that are going to run. And, in baseball, people playing small ball, which is basically the time.
That's what they call that, small ball?
Small ball.
Okay.
And so, like the strategies that, like, compare based on your team, like, you can have a team that runs the ball face a team that passes the ball, and like who wins is going to be on the defense. Who could stop for each other.
Now, in baseball, just to kind of turn it there real quick, I know we're on football now, but I just want to say something real quick about baseball. Because I see this with other sports, but I never really heard anyone say it about baseball like you're talking about, because I've always been curious about that. Like, Yankees is known as a monolithic team that has all the different kind of components you want on the team. Good infield, good outfield, good this, that, and that, and the other. But like, you have teams that are stronger in certain areas. I guess your game plays according. Like, say, for example, I don't know this, say you play the Atlanta Braves. and they have a bunch of squatters, but they're weak on the outfield. The guys be dropping balls, arrows all over the place. So I guess your strategy is to make sure they don't get infield.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You don't get out because it's like, well, if they get infield, they're swatting all day. They got such and such coming up, and they're kings of Sultan, like Babe Ruth's name.
Right.
But if you keep them out there, the shortstop's weak, the third baseman's weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just throwing something out there. I don't really know.
Like if you hit up, like I would rather have a team full of 9 batters that get on base 33% of the time than have a team full of batters that hit a home run 2 out of every 10 times. Like, we gonna win more games.
Because inevitably, no matter how great you hit, your balls can get caught. You're not always going to knock them out the park, and so on and so forth. And if you're not beyond the swatting, if you're not really good with rounding the bases, even like you ain't got a team full of Steelers. They're kings of swat. They can get on base. And they can when bases are loaded, they can swat them all in type things. But those are not always going to be the scenario setups.
It's like you need 5 people to hit a single to score. So like even if we just moving base at a time, like that's small ball. It's like I gotta run 4. Like I got a runner on second, somebody just hit a double. I lay down the bunt, move the runner from third, get the out of first. Now all he has to do is hit a ground ball through the gap and run scores. Or fly ball and tags.
So now you putting points up.
And then your defense and the pitcher need to stop him.
That's what's up.
Same way with football, like you got an offense that's like doing phenomenal, and they're running up the score, but the defense can't stop them. So like you have to have both balance.
Oh, indeed. I mean, that's all. That's the one thing in sports in particular with football that's always discussed. Who's lacks in defense and offense. That's always what's discussed. Oh man, they got a great offensive line, but they defense, and then vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I can't say right now, but like one of the things I've always read about like Ole Miss, their defensive line always falls apart. Yeah, man, they can, run 80 some yards, whatever type touchdown, but then you get them on the defensive line, they fall apart.
That's the thing about most sports. Most sports are get as many points on the board as possible. They don't really care
about defense.
Well, now their defense is the most important.
Well, there is what they call fundamental basketball, where you, like, for example, my boys. Are you still with us there, Shy? I just looked up to see if you were still awake. Poor Shy, he was like, "Oh man, they talk about this shit. I don't know about this." But hey, Shy, I was going to bring up the Lakers right now, real quick. I know we're not talking about basketball. We're just going to mention this as one team. But what I was just going to say about teamwork in this regard. One of the things that my boys were suffering for a minute was really like organizing their team. They had the great players, how come they're not doing good? This is even before LeBron went out there when they had Lonzo and all this, Ball and all this. And, but they just wasn't working as a team. It's just like, what's going on there? This person's there, that person's there, what's going on? But they just didn't create a team strategy. And now they're playing team ball. LeBron is actually like assisting. He ain't just always trying to always shoot the ball and slam. He's getting his assist up. He's like getting triple doubles all the time now with rebounding as well as scoring. So he's getting triple doubles all the time, which it's like paying attention to the overall team. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Michael Jordan. When people anyway. Now I'm about to take it to basketball.
I'm ready to talk about that.
I want to end the thing like y'all do with every sport person or sport thing we talk about. Favorite football team.
Favorite football team. Okay.
I know it is.
Now I have a split. It's a throwback to my California days. When the Raiders were in Los Angeles, was my favorite team. Shy, you can attest to that. And before they went back to Oakland, because that's where they're originally from. But the team that I also like that actually did win championships a lot, the 49ers, baby. The Niners, Joe Montana days, Roddy Lott, and like I say, Sticky Fingers, Jerry Rice. I'm really revealing my age mentioning these particular names. I don't know who's on the squad now, but they still doing it. I mean, San Fran was a contender not too long ago. What Super Bowl was that? Anyway, they still doing it. Yeah, a few Super Bowls back, they were contenders again. So my boys. But anyway, that's me.
I'm a Colts fan, and for the record, Peyton Manning, I would rather have the ball in his hand with 2 minutes left than we down. Any other quarterback in the story, you're the best. That's right.
Over Drew Brees.
Over Drew Brees, over Tom
Joe
Brady.
Theismann.
All of them.
All of them.
Bro, because he's probably he's the best.
He's
like
probably the best.
he was right.
I can't form an argument for that.
Like Tom Brady won more Super Bowl rings. He had a better.
It ain't about Super Bowl rings. What about overall stats?
That's what I'm saying. It's like regular season. Oh, Peyton Manning for sure. I think because Peyton got hurt.
I heard that he was the most accurate quarterback in history. Like he puts it in your damn hands.
He would stay after practice with all the wide receivers. They wanted to stay, wanted to play. He would run house with them. So it was like it wasn't missing.
And we're talking about that kid comes from a dynasty, you know. I mean, the Mannings in general, you know, he had an older brother, Cooper.
Yeah.
And, of course, Eli, he got hurt. And Eli, we know he did in New York. So, and then of course, their dad, the patriarch, you know, Archie. You know, so that's, you know, you talk about breeding, as it were. You know what I'm saying? Like, they bred themselves. Should I talk about how deep the Mannings are in football? They are, you know, 4 guys deep. You know, the dad, oldest brother, middle brother, youngest brother. And all of them are good. I remember when Eli first left Ole Miss, they actually were trying to triple my boy. Oh, he ain't gonna be as good as his brother. That, you know, he left with other. He's not okay. But man, I remember when he took the Patriots out. Man, all of us that didn't want to see the Patriots win when the New York Giants took it, it was because of Eli Manning. And they better give that boy his props in the future because he did it. I mean, yeah, the players, but Eli pulled a big brother move.
Helmet catch.
You know what I'm saying? That young man did it. I'll give Eli props because I remember when Eli used to come to my games and give me props on the piano. So I'm looking out for you too, homeboy.
See, like, so I'm a and I like kind of going on the thing now. So when you talk about Eli, I'm like, yeah. But as much as like I give Tom Brady credit for being a good quarterback, which he is, Peyton's got it all the way. Like,
but see, you know, we got to be careful with that because we're acting as if these guys played against each other, he would just, you know, wax Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? This is
Tom
like
Brady in the height of the Patriots against Colts in the height of the Colts.
Yeah.
Patriots win.
I'm saying, but
that's a good debate, though. I would quickly say that. Just
in that game, the Colts are down though, going with last 2 minutes left. Peyton got the ball. Colts winning. He not losing.
Brady does it under pressure too, y'all.
Not like Peyton, though.
No,
in my opinion.
not like Peyton.
That is opinionated right there.
Tom Brady choked against the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Well, the Super Bowl I think I'm talking about.
But, you know, Peyton,
Both times.
Eli defeated Manning, Brady in that regard. But, you know, again, like I'm just looking at overall stats. Like for me, for example, I said I was a Niners guy. So there was a lot of talk at that time between, say, you know, Joe Montana versus Jim McMahon, you know, with the Bears and stuff like that. And of course, everybody, including myself for that matter, would always say, you know, Joe Montana and stats and this, and that, and the other. But it's like, man, when it's clutch time, the guy knew how to really get down, so you couldn't just quickly rule it out as, you know, it was more about the team they had. Because, okay, for example, what y'all are saying, right? Let's flip the script. Peyton Manning, but he has the Patriots team, and Eli Manning has, you know, the Colts team. Same skill set. Now we still going to quickly go, oh, he'll take him out.
Peyton is going to do tremendously better if we have Randy Moss and I can't remember the tight end's name. Fucking Tom Brady had like 5 people that was big as fuck catching the ball. Like he could go deep or he could go.
But they got a lot of Super Bowls coming up too.
Yeah,
like he botched it.
But,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
true, but I'm just saying like.
Matter of fact, the most modern Super Bowls, the majority of them belong to the Patriots.
I put it like this: we go to basketball kind of for a second, maybe we can transition. I would want the ball to be in Jordan's hand before I wanted it to be in LeBron's hand, and that's what I mean when I say I think.
Now basketball, if we are here now. Hey, Shai, I can bring you into this real quick. Shai, you remember that? I mean, I'm going to take it away from my Lakers thing for a second. But you remember back in the 90s when, like, the Chicago Bulls started really running it? And every time Jordan was on the screen, how it was? Jordan. Man, like, it was the battle cry. You know what I'm saying? He was the only person that took me away from my Lakers for a minute. Like, no other player took my eyes away from the Lakers until that man started playing basketball. And it was like, you know, okay, so God decided to play basketball and named himself Michael Jordan. Okay, you know, geez.
It's so cocky too. I loved it. Like I was watching the new documentary they did about their run, and it was one guy like and the player talking about how Michael Jordan they went to play golf. Dude beat Michael Jordan in golf. So he was like, watch this, and they like scored like 50 points. You know what I'm saying? On them in the game, like just like the ability to be able to be like, I'm about to score 50 on them tonight and do it is tremendous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because with golf, I think it's about the least amount of strokes, the better your points, kind of thing. If it'll take you so many strokes to hit the
You want as little the point.
Yeah.
Talking about Jordan real quick. I'm gonna bring it back to baseball. Did you ever watch him play baseball?
I didn't, but I know he's in the minor league, right?
Yeah.
Space Jam,
Space Jam, yeah. They're making another one.
Yeah, with LeBron, I believe.
Hey,
The thing is,
wasn't there a sports guy that played football and baseball too?
Bo Jackson.
Oh.
Bo knows. Yeah, that was like back in the day. I can't remember the baseball team he was with, but he was with the Raiders too. And he was doing it simultaneously. He was one of them rare cats like that, was doing it like that and everything, as far as back in the day. I don't know who's doing that now.
But he was actually good in both.
Yeah, he was good at both, and they were both professional leagues, whereas Michael Jordan baseball. And the funny thing was, what a lot of people didn't know was, at least if I get the story right, that was Michael Jordan's first passion was baseball. And if anybody was keeping up during the time, it was like his dad had just gotten murdered. He didn't have passion for the game anymore. For anybody that just knew, it was just like it was obvious why he was doing it. But then instead of coming back to basketball, which him and his father shared a passion together with, he went back to his first sport. And to see that tall, lanky man trying to play baseball was just.
From what I knew, he did not do well.
Oh no, man! The poor guy just, he.
I don't know if you've ever watched Edgar Rap Battles of History. There's one, Michael Jordan versus Muhammad Ali, and one of the lines about and Muhammad Ali says was he's talking about Space Jam, and he says, and you're acting in Space Jam some more than your baseball career. That's not exactly. I'll probably put it up on screen.
Both things, which he really wasn't like an expert in.
Yeah, I feel like if we're talking basketball, we got to talk about AI. Allen Iverson.
Oh, Allen Iverson changed the game, man. That guy changed the crossover game, man. They changed the crossover rules because of that, man. This guy had Michael Jordan spraining his ankle from sticking him when he was the defensive MVP player of the year. And Allen Iverson juked that man in a way that is still eternally documented on YouTube. And he out-juked the best defensive man in the league at that time in a way that was just embarrassing. But he did that to everybody. And he just changed the game. Great scorer as well. He handled the ball in a way that he blended what was going on in street ball. That Rutgers Island type of street ball with the NBA, which in turn would spawn the and one league and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ice Cube, he has a basketball league. It's 3-on-3. And I'm not sure if they're doing it now because of COVID. But,
right.
Y'all should go support the Ice Cube basketball league.
But as far as basketball goes, Lakers is the greatest team in my mind of all time. I know a lot of Celtics are looking at me talking about what about the rings. I don't care about all them damn rings you got. A lot of the rings you got during the era that was not during a very tough era. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we gained them rings during the damn 70s and 80s when they got really rough. You know what I'm saying? And more integrated for that matter too. And because I think the Celtics has 11 championships. I'll give you damn Celtics that. You know what I'm saying? God, that's a sour tip. I said the word Celtic. I said it again. Yeah. Okay, it's washed from my mouth now. All right, but yes, Lakers. I come from the days of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper, even Jamal Wilkes. You know what I'm saying? With his weird shooting self. You know what I'm saying? AC Green, Byron Scott. So many names.
Hey, Bill.
And then the modern era with Shaq and Kobe. Oh my goodness.
Well,
hey, Billy.
My favorite team. What about you?
My favorite basketball team. I've never really sat down and thought about it, but if I had to choose, I think I gotta go with the Knicks.
The New York Knicks. Now, I know a lot of Chicago fans out there going, boo!
I'm just, I like New York.
So, Patrick Ewing, that's, you all about that squad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Ace?
So I'm just going to go ahead and specify Yeah, I do not like basketball all that much. I suck at it personally. I like to watch the sports that I'm good at, like football.
No,
baseball,
I feel you, baby.
Bill, you're gonna hate me if I had to choose a team. It's the Celtics.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, there has to be a response, like put an explosion or something up, or oh man.
That is
All these I've been supporting these guys. They're the Yankee guys, and we had that. You see that there?
Let me explain why. The only reason why is because I got family from Massachusetts. It's really the only reason.
Man, my ex-wife is from Massachusetts. It did not pull me away. No, he said it, Shy. He said it. He said the thing I didn't want him to say. That's like me telling him that I'm a Red Sox fan. He don't even understand what he just did to me. See? Look, even the thought of that just made him go, ooh, and shivered. Oh, but you know what? I appreciate your honesty. You know, you just say it with, your favorite team. It's just, it goes against everything that I stand for in life and my moral code.
Hey, Bill.
Look, I don't watch basketball. I just kind of said it.
What's up, Shy?
At least he didn't say Larry Bird, right?
Well, see, the thing is, when he says the Celtics, he may as well say Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say the Lakers, you're pretty much saying Kobe or Magic, or, you're saying all of them when you say a team. It's like the Golden State Warrior fans, which I'm looking at y'all because y'all think y'all something because of that little run you had a while back, and then the Cavaliers kind of like humped you back. I saw your numbers there, man, but I have to say back in my day, y'all were a joke. Nobody talking about no Golden State Warriors, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, right, Golden State Warriors. Y'all were a joke, and I'm glad that y'all have grown up now. You're no longer wearing diapers. But I remember we used to shit in your drawers and you wasn't shit. God, I went in hard. I went in on them Golden State Warrior boys. But Curry, you the shit, though. I ain't talking about you because, goddamn, man, your number's shit.
You seem to think a lot of people shit their pants. I remember way back when, in the beginning of the podcast, all the flat earthers shut their pants too.
Back that you done put a chronicalized level on this, man. Yes, in my mind, if you suck in life in some form or fashion, something happened during your potty training days and you're shitting and all that. And yeah, so you're a shitty motherfucker. Like Celtics, like the Red Sox. Oh my goodness. Now, let me kind of take it to another place real quick and everything. Boxing. Now, when you get into boxing, it doesn't get heavy like that. You have your favorites. Like I come from the Fab Four, the middleweights, with Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, you know what I'm saying, Roberto Duran. That's the Fab Four. But there's a whole bunch of great players. Aaron Pryor, or Alexis Arguello, Felix Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins. I can name drop all day as far as in the modern era. But boxing is one of those sports where you do get it to the singular character. Like for me, like Mike Tyson, man, there was nothing, for our parents' generation, it was Muhammad Ali and everything, and he is the greatest, as it were, to me, the greatest athlete ever. That's what I'm arguing. But at any rate, with Tyson, like I wanted to watch boxing because of Tyson after the other four I said and everything. Like, that was the middleweights, but nobody in heavyweights really was shining after Muhammad Ali. And then Tyson came, and what he did to Trevor Berbick, and that man was a champion. He beat him like he never even boxed his whole life. And the man was only 20 years old. The ferocity of Mike Tyson. I mean, to this day, I was scared of him from afar. I would look at him on TV and I was scared. I had Mike Tyson's workout, and I was afraid to fight him in the video game. Like, he was that terrifying. Like, I love you, Tyson, for scaring me.
But I want to say this about boxing before we move on to our last topic is, would you want to fight against this? And what they are seeing right now, something Bill just posted on Facebook, of him shadowboxing, right?
Yes,
right?
yes.
This man, I'm talking like fast as fuck. When he posted the video, I was like, he's about to hit like a hard punch. And now seeing how fast he was, I was like, damn, Bill, you really surprised me.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, for all those out there that don't know, I used to box back in the day and everything, and I had a couple of my old school boxing homeboys come by. Shy Brian Hawks came by.
Oh, yeah.
We got to talking boxing and stuff. And another homeboy of mine, Deshaun and stuff, we beat the shit out of each other in a few sparring matches. But, yeah, man, boxing is just one of those things, is, to get back on Tyson, one of my favorite quotes by him, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, how you respond to that, or how you, recoup from that is a testament to who you are, your character. You know what I'm saying? Because, we all going to get punched in the mouth. Some people just don't anticipate it. And in boxing, you do anticipate getting punched in the face and in the mouth, so you have a counter plan for that. But there are a lot of situations in life where you don't plan to just get proverbially knocked out. And, that's why I've always loved that quote. I know Tyson meant it from another place, but it can translate on a lot of different levels in terms of life, which he probably also meant too, which is, you can make plans for things, but the obstacles that arise. And, I feel like boxing really prepares you for that, because it is just all about you in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, the team, as it were, is those that are keeping your morale up in the corner and telling you about technique. But I can tell you, like a lot of boxing cats, a lot of that stuff that they're telling you becomes, like Peanuts mumble. You're looking across that ring and you're seeing, is that motherfucker tired? Or as tired as you, because you start to get tired. You're like, is he as tired as me? Because we got another round, goddamn. And you look at it, and a lot of that shit motherfucker be saying. So it's really about you regrouping. And how do you handle conflict, when it arises? Because, one of the things I like what we've done here is how we've brought human attributes to other sports. Like we started off with baseball, teamwork. And then we moved into football, comparing it to like life obstacles. And now, here we are in the boxing, how it is completely about training yourself to be, prepared for all the trauma that's about to, you're about to incur. Because no one else is going to be in that ring for you taking them damn punches. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway. Unless y'all got something else to say about boxing, we can move on.
Shit, I like Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd. I'm sorry, I didn't even mention Floyd. I gotta mention Floyd. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather Jr. particularly, because his dad, he's named after his dad.
So what was he doing when he fought Conor McGregor?
Okay, so Conor McGregor is the one that stepped outside of his comfort zone. Because Conor McGregor is the MMA artist and stuff.
I didn't know. I didn't really follow it.
Yeah. I mean, Conor McGregor is a legend. MMA, shouts out to that sport as well. We haven't really touched on MMA, but shouts out to that and everything, keeping the fight game alive. When boxing kind of got a little boring to people, MMA brought the fascination and the lure for fight fans kind of started coming back and went to the MMA world. And people like Conor McGregor and Silva, I forget the guy's first name. Yeah, Anderson Silva and all these kind of guys. There's a whole bunch of key names, even with the females. But Anna Nunes, that beat the living shit out of her. And that's what you talk about now. But Ronda definitely too, because Ronda Rousey was like the female that, like, there was a lot of badass females, but she started giving it some kind of celebrity. Yeah. She was making the rounds to a lot of celebrity things. Gina Carano, how you pronounce it, she was doing that as well for a hot minute. Gina Carano she played a female agent in a movie, and she was using a lot of her real moves.
Ronda Rousey has done that, or at least after she got her ass beat.
Well, she went to the wrestling world for a hot minute. But props out to Ronda, because she was kicking ass, man. That armbar move, hers, she can probably kick my ass. And not probably, I'm pretty sure she can kick my ass, so I ain't arguing with her. But yeah, she's got that badass armbar move, that can lock anybody up. And anybody that's defeated her, just make sure that she didn't put that on them. Because she put that on anybody, she submits them with that shit, because you feel like your damn arm's about to pop. So that was a great move on her part. It would pop. Yeah.
Well, I want to bring in the short thing that I'm introducing something new to the podcast. It's going to be called a contest. It's a comment contest. So basically, every week we're going to ask you a question, or like an opinion on something, which is what it's an opinion this week. And if you defend your opinion the best to your abilities, we're going to pin you to the top of the comments. That's kind of how that'll go. Okay. So this week's contest, which I'm going to go ask all of y'all. Is gaming a sport?
Is gaming a sport? In the tradition of competitiveness.
Competitiveness,
yes.
Physicality, no.
But see, the thing is, to be sporty doesn't necessarily always mean being that physical. I mean, we got this miniature pool table up here. Shall you see our little miniature pool table here? You know,
Yeah.
this is considered like a sport or a billiard, as it were.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? And,
So, according to dictionary.com, sport is an athletic activity requiring skill or physical prowess and often of a competitive nature, as if racing, baseball, tennis, golf, bowling, wrestling, boxing, hunting, fishing, etc.
well, according to the definition,
But
gaming is not a sport
no,
in that
it's physical.
regard. It's physical, but I mean, that's not.
And also physical.
That would be the equivalent of saying someone that writes all day could say that that's a sport.
But hunting, you sit in a tree stand all day. I mean, yeah, you pull a trigger if you're shooting, but according to that, that's a sport. This is what we want y'all debating in the comments.
No, you know what? You just said something I just thought about. Because the sport of hunting, but you know, it's a lot of stationary, and it's more about focus than the. You can be overweight and be a great hunter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mental-
that's a good debate.
I would argue mentally that working your brain is a physical exercise because your brain is a muscle.
But now let me be the devil's advocate for those that are probably thinking these things, and I will think it for you, as it were. Comparing someone that can play Call of Duty to an Usain Bolt.
No, it's two completely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but see, that's kind of what we're trying to define because see, okay, Usain Bolt, he's badass, but you can't compare, say, Simone Biles
But you don't
to him because
you don't
they're
compare Usain Bolt to Derek Jeter or Michael Jordan's Peyton Manning.
actually you can.
I would.
Yeah,
I would.
even though it's Olympics and professional sport, but
I would say it's
the
like
physical prowess.
you would keep it into the genre of the sport.
Okay, consider
I
this,
mean, I
Hunter.
wouldn't say Peyton Manning's a better player than Michael Jordan because they don't play the same
All
sport.
right, consider this, Hunter. And you know, in a lot of Olympic stuff, right? A lot of those guys they become professionals. You know,
Yeah.
certain sports like basketball, boxing, and the like. And it's still a sport. They're just at a different level, as it were. Because you know, an Olympian is a professional, but they're considered a professional when they take on the mystique of the lifestyle. Like, say, you know, like Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the greatest boxers in history, was an Olympic gold medalist. Now, had he stopped there and not went professional, it doesn't take away the fact that he was an Olympian boxer, but he never had a professional career.
I'm saying you don't compare like you can't compare Usain Bolt to say somebody from Optic Gaming because they don't play the same sport. Like you wouldn't compare Peyton Manning to Michael Jordan.
So
You
what you're
wouldn't
saying
compare-
is like if there's a gamer out there that gamers are like, he's a god.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I'm
There
saying? And you can put that person, okay, well in that regard, me personally, I would equate them to an Usain Bolt. If they're of the level that I'm not talking about just in your neighborhood or region, I'm talking about when this name is mentioned, everyone around the world shivers. That's what happens in the track and field world when you mention Usain Bolt, or if you mention basketball, Michael Jordan, and so on and so forth. If there's someone in the gaming world, when you mention that person's name and everyone shivers,
Yeah, Stump. Optic Stump.
okay,
Name
I don't
shot.
know that name personally, but
You know.
I guess that's the name that makes y'all gamers out there shiver, the name he said. That's what I'm talking about. You know, and yeah, like Max saying, debate that in the comments, because as you can see, we're talking about it, and it's an interesting conversation because on the last note on that, I think maybe in passing I saw something where they were considering that for the Olympics.
It's an X game right now. Gaming is an X game.
Ah, so
That's not an extreme sport, though.
But yeah, that's good. Like that is an extreme sport.
I don't like that.
You know, just because you're snowboarding on a screen, you don't mean that you're a badass snowboarder in real life.
But they're
I
not.
see the Olympics.
They're not doing it like snowboarding. It's like they're sponsored by Xbox, so it's Halo. It's like competitive Halo.
I have to say this, me personally, and I've never been around anyone that is considered a champion of any kind, but I've been around really good gamers. And I have to admit,
I see what you think.
I've gotten really excited when I watch someone that I know that can play a certain game really well, because I know they're going to either pass all the levels that are about to, come about, or they're really good with doing cool things in the gameplay. Like I know that they're going to do cool flips and trick shots or whatever have you. That I get excited by that, and there are actually people online that make money that way. Have YouTube videos of them doing trick shots, cool in-game play things that the average person can't do. Like maybe this guy you talk about that is a god. He does things that you're just like, how the hell did he? No matter what I do, I will not be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
It's muscle memory like anything. Like when you're playing Call of Duty and like you're doing competitive, it's like where you go, where you.
But the question is, if you played enough,
Because see, let me say something on a different level real quick, right? With the physical prowess, I'm not saying because that, I'm a lot, more forward in my years now. But something tells me no matter how much I would have tried to like dunk back in my day when I was playing basketball in my youth or something, I don't think I would have ever been as good as Michael Jordan dunking. I'm not talking about his overall game, just dunking in general. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying is, like, if someone is really good at gaming and if it's a muscle memory thing, if you can memorize that technique in the way that he does, wouldn't you become as good as him?
I mean,
whereas like I'm never gonna jump as high as Michael Jordan, no matter how much I leap, I'm not gonna jump as high as Michael Jordan.
At this point, you got to take into consideration the real life lag, how long it takes the image to get from your eye through your brain to your thumb, which a lot of people have played these games for tens of thousands of hours.
So their reaction
time, like if me and Alan were to go against Nate Shot and Stump, we'd lose every day. And we're good for what we are for just kind of regular players.
Like somebody me jumping on line, y'all stump me all day type of people. But someone like him,
when you play Call of Duty, you still have to make smart plays. You have to move in the right way.
I mean, it's like, you want to be strategic.
Anybody can get as good as anybody at anything. Like if you out there and you're young and like even old and you want to do something, you can get that good if you believe it. Like you just got to put in the time. These people were great because they put in the time.
Hey, Shai, to kind of bring it back to you real quick, because I know that you kind of got something to say about this and everything. That would, you don't have to expand on it, but do you think gaming is a sport?
First, no, I don't. Maybe this is a new generation thing now. For me, a sport, it's always been somebody that has had to, I don't know. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to plug my phone up. That's why I'm a little distracted. My battery is down. You guys were talking about Olympians and professionals. These are people that train years and years. Mentally, they have to focus, just like how you guys were talking about the other ones, as well as physically. Gladiators, that was boxing. That I don't know. So to me, I guess I just have to wrap my head around it because I know it's a new generation and they're looking at things a little differently. But I don't know. I'm not feeling it like that.
Well, you were saying about the mental aptitude. I mean, in defense of gamers, I mean, it definitely takes a lot of mental aptitude to take in all those hours of gameplay to get as skilled as they are at it. But then again, at the same time, like I think even Mac described in the last episode, you can't, like you said, these people that are, getting their mind up and getting their body up to do a particular physical activity, and it's someone that's really good at gaming, but they got a thing of Mountain Dew beside them to keep themselves geeked up. And it's just like, it's, and maybe some of the best gamers in the world, that's their juice or whatever it is that keeps them like geeked up. But see, like, that's the thing about sports. The moment you juice, as it were, your name is tarnished, like a Barry Bonds or something like that. Like you got to do it through your own prowess to get the real respect for, your acumen in the sport. Whereas like I think y'all talking about, you got cats on Adderall and Mountain Dew and all this shit, playing hours and hours and hours. But what I'm saying is they're not training their shit to be physical. Like they got a kitchen right there, they got their Cheetos. It's not the same as a motherfucker like Usain Bolt that have been running, doing 45 reps all day and shit.
It's like someone that learns to try on the triangle, just good as fuck at the triangle. He's still a musician who can play an instrument, plays the triangle.
Oh yeah, indeed. But see, now that's more of a mental aptitude and a focus on meter and things of this nature, and you can equate that to gaming. When it comes to music, it's kind of a whole different parameter at those kind of levels because it's not so much about your physical activity. Because if that was the case, then the drummer is the greatest, musician of all time. If that's the case, they're working all their limbs, but it's not based on that. But we're talking about the question of what is sport. And then he gave a definition that said physical. That was that attribute.
Hunting isn't mental. I would argue that for the fishing,
I'm not a hunter, and I can't make the argument. But something tells me if someone was a hunter that was sitting here, I think could paint a picture that would make the argument that it is a more physical thing too. you know, the getting up early in the morning and the positioning of yourself, making sure you navigate through the woods a certain type of way. It doesn't require you to be, you know, I don't know, physically just on, you know, at a certain place. But you know, gaming, they could play a gaming hunting sequence from a screen, you know, and not actually be out there in the woods.
So when we
you know
say gaming, we mean competitive gaming. We mean multiplayer, like Call of Duty versus first person shooters. Yeah, first person shooters. There are a few others.
I mean, I personally get it, but I'm just playing devil's advocate because what I'm saying, you can believe there's a lot of people that can think of that.
Yeah. Check out the Chicago Huntsman. It's like the Chicago Bulls, like competitive Call of Duty team.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's end the topic matter and get into something we haven't done in a while: rapid fire.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So, for those of you who don't know what rapid fire is, because we haven't done it in a while, basically I ask the question and we all go around and answer, and we don't take time. It's the first thing that pops into your head needs to be your answer. Okay. So the first one: morning, noon, or night.
Night.
What about you, Shai?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Morning, noon, or night? Which one do you prefer?
Night.
Night, 100%. You like the night better.
I was born at night, so.
Hey, after midnight, we all let it hang out.
After midnight. Okay. What store do you shop at the most?
What's the store?
Yeah, that you shop at it the most.
The Chevron.
Walmart.
Walmart.
Actually, lately, Dollar General, because I just do a lot of grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a cheapskate, man. Hell yeah, damn it.
All right. This is an entry question to see whether you're a psychopath or not. How do you like your steak cooked?
Like medium rare, but like I really don't give a fuck. You know, so I never check it. Like, you know.
Yeah, but you're not gonna go in there and ask. I want it rare. Like I just wanted to touch
Bloody.
the
Me, I think I'm gonna go with medium. I will do medium rare, but I think medium. I've learned that well done apparently cooks all the flavor out or something.
All the nutrients out too.
Yeah. What about you, Shy? Well, Shy, you don't eat steak, so.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, so yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I got one for you, Shy. Salad or ice cream?
Ice cream. That was quick, huh?
I've been on this website before because I found the sex question again.
I remember Scooby answered yes or no.
Okay, what is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, and drink some coffee.
That's you? Oh, man, I'm going to feel so like I don't know, this is going to sound bad, but I have to admit, you know, I'm going to be truthful here. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is check my internet shits. That's the first freaking thing I do. Check my damn phone, man. That's what I do. I mean, because shit, a lot of the things I do is going down on the phone, man. I'm getting gigs that way, and people communicate with me, and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I immediately check, you know, my social medias, my text messaging. I look at my damn phone. That's the first thing I do in the morning. It's sad. It's sorry.
You should really open my eyes.
Oh my God. I went back on that one. Are you serious, bro?
The first thing I do when I wake up.
The first thing I do is the first part of waking up is opening my eyes. That's it. Hey, what about you, Sean? What's the first thing you do when you get up?
I think I'm with you, Billy. I check my phone because usually I don't end up
Let's
checking
just
my
keep it 100,
messages.
man. That's the majority of society now.
Yeah. And sometimes I check.
Until recently, I had slept with my phone next to my bed. Because you know, that was the first thing. But
you have Carlos? Oh, okay, man. Till next time, homeboy. Hey, we gonna still have that combo. Cool, Carlos.
I've been having to get up earlier in the morning with work and school, so I sleep with it away from my bed. So I have to get up and I turn my alarm off. But that's not the first. I mean, yeah, technically it is the first thing. I use the bathroom first.
Oh, back.
That is
Yes.
Before I do anything,
Actually,
I go to the
taking a
bathroom.
whiz. Yeah, I actually got to do that. That's one of the first things I usually have to do too. I have to say, yeah. Damn, back, that was a good one.
Well, that
Gotta
is,
go pee pee, man.
that is it for this episode of Brisbane Gap. All right, that's all my questions.
No, this has been a great episode. I've liked the fluidity of this. Thank y'all for watching Bridging the Gap BTG with Bill, Shy, Scooby, and Mac talking about sports. Of course, obviously, we didn't cover every sport. We just covered what we could in this time frame.
20 likes, and we'll do a part 2.
Yes, 20 likes, and we'll do a part 2. We hope that you've enjoyed this. And, tune in next week and, we talk about something else.
Get tuned in and tapped in to all the social medias. I'm at Scooby the Kid 252, at Bill_Perry, at Ocho Shy 11, at Chef Mac 1523, at Bridge the Gap 77.
Another challenge I'm going to challenge our viewers to do is in the comments, tell us how your week has been. I should have done that at the beginning, but I just thought of it.
Yes, how's your week been? And put it in the comments. Let us know, genuinely. Hey, Shy, you got anything to say?
Oh, I'm sorry I'm not there with you guys. I miss you guys and everything. And
We
with
miss you
sports,
too.
yeah, with sports, I know I didn't have too much to contribute, but I learned a lot from you guys. And hey, make sure you give 20 likes so we can do this again, and then I'll at least contribute gymnastics or something.
No doubt, Shy.
Yes.
Well, I love you, Shy.
Bye.
What is up, guys? It is Chef Mac again, back at it at the end of the podcast. And this week, I just want to reiterate that we are starting the new thing, the contest. If you've ever watched How Ridiculous, you kind of know how this is going to go. Every week, we're going to ask you a question, answer it in the comments. We'll pin you to the top, show you some love in the comments. Like I said earlier, this week's is... what was it? Is gaming a sport? Let us know your opinion. Let us know what you think of gaming being a sport. Now look, I'm really sunburned on my chest, but that's besides the point. Make sure you leave a like. Like I said, make sure you comment. Like I said, is gaming a sport? Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every time that we upload, and I will see you next Wednesday.